Hey guys, welcome back to Kuma Style Reviews. I know it's been a while, but we are getting back into the swing of some hobby stuff here. And yeah, it's just good to be back. I hope everything's been well with you all. But anyway, this is Fans Hobbies MB-19C Stalker. This was their TFCon 2023 Toronto exclusive. Just came out not too long ago. So it's nice to start back with something that's actually fresh rather than this massive backlog of stuff I have. So more reviews coming. I don't know when, where, how often, but yeah. But anyway, this is an homage to the Transformers G1 character Stalker. I actually think that this carries this mold way better than the original use, which was Double Dealer. So very excited. This was designed by Get Right Robot. He's been killing it with these Fans Hobby crossover Chosen Prime exclusive designs and stuff like that. And he gets better and better with each one of these. So it's really cool, and I'm glad to dig into this. But anyway, in terms of what comes in the box, of course, vehicle, the master, missile, small missiles, they go all around the fenders here, stickers. And if it's been a while, if you're new to the channel, we don't do stickers here, so these won't be applied. I'm more of a tampo guy, water slides, things like that. A card and instructions. So pretty standard fare and really cool artwork as well, man. Like the artwork on these exclusive boxes just... it's something else. But anyway, let's go ahead and dig into it. We're going to look at the vehicle mode first. We'll also go ahead and look at the master as well. And from there, we'll just go into the robot mode, finish it off, maybe do some comparisons and stuff like that. But on this channel, transformations are separate videos. So if it's a transformation you want to see, request it. I'm not the biggest fan of including them just for video length and stuff like that. But I will do it separately if it's something you guys want to see. So let me know, and let's get started. Taking a look at the vehicle mode first, pretty straightforward. The missiles, they just peg in 2 spots on each fender. The missiles aren't side specific or anything like that. They are full modes all the way around, so no hollowness and stuff like that. So shout out to Fans Hobby for taking that into consideration. And it's neat. I'm not the biggest G1 aficionado or whatever. I'm familiar with the Stalker because the toy looked cool, but the colors really surprised me because being G1 is a very G2 color scheme, but I do like it. Rolling wheels on the bottom. They don't free spin, but I mean, if it's got a solid connection, they'll roll and roll easily. It's actually really smooth. I like the rubber they use and stuff. And I will say this about Fans Hobby projects. On all of the ones that I have not once from, I think they started releasing stuff in like 2015, 2016 even. I wish I remembered the name, but it was their Laser Optimus Prime mode and Scourge and stuff like that. Even on those, like no degradation in the rubber, on the tires or anything like that. They do use quality materials, okay? Yeah, there's the vehicle. All right, and taking a look at the master here. Just give you guys a roundabout. So for the sake of measuring, it's about 2 inches, between 2 and 2 1/4, closer to 2, maybe 2 1/8. Articulation on these are good, but, you know, being mini bots, they really aren't much. The head does tilt side to side. The back plate does make it hard to, like, 360 the head or anything like that. The shoulders, they can actually go upwards. Do some parallel, not a ton. He does have elbow bend. It's really tight. The knee, that's about the gist of the swing there. A little bit of outward, but not really. And then it has knee bend. Nothing at the ankles, though, so no crazy poses or anything like that, but just enough to literally say it has articulation. Now, I'm trying to remember from Double Dealer, darken it up a bit. Well, that looks fine, so you guys can see it. But, all right, so I think, yep, this flips up. And then you just take them and kind of fit his legs through as carefully as possible. All right, you got that. Sorry if my hands are in the way too much, but I'm trying here. Get it right. Get it right. And then there's that. And shame on me. One thing I did forget to show was the radar that it comes with. So that just pegs into here. Sorry about that. It had fallen off in the box that I had this in. I was playing around a little with it a bit at work before I started the review. But yeah, that's another piece that I should have shown off there. It does go on either side. And there we go. And before we even get into the bot mode and finish this up, I just want to take a look at the missile itself and its gimmick. So it does have a light gimmick. It's kind of easy to forget about, but it's 3 AG13 or LR44 batteries. This is the positive side, negative side on the back. Pretty easy to install. I think the spring is too long personally, but it pushes back pretty easy, so you won't have too hard of a time. So it's dual function, all right? So it splits, becomes a gun for its robot mode or blaster, and then for the vehicle mode, it's a big long missile, as you see. So the light doesn't go all the way through. It goes to the barrel of that blaster, right? So it has 2 functions, and it's button presses. So it's either on for the back, on for the front, pulsing or breathing for the back, pulsing or breathing for the front, or off. So total it has 5. So we'll go ahead, and since this doesn't matter, since it doesn't light up in the front, we'll just go through each button press since it's off right now and see what it does. So first press, on, well, it's breathing for the front. All right, second press. Is that just plain off? All right, so we'll start here. Breathe in for the back. Next press. Is anything happening? Off. So I think it's off between, I get it. All right, so it turns off between each, and there's not a just plain on for either side, all right? And I just reread the instructions, which are right here or whatever, so it just turns off in between each mode. So let me focus. Sorry about that. All right, then it turns off. Then you press it again. Breathe in for the back. I prefer constant on, just for the sake of photography and stuff like that. But the breathing effect is kind of cool. But I guess even plain displaying and stuff like that, if you wanted to have it on, you know, why would this need to turn off and on? But, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, that's the missile. That's the effect. Blaster slash missile. Don't want to spend too much time on it, but it's nice to know that it turns off in between, because if you have it like on and don't see the front, you know that instead of switching over, off is off. So that's pretty cool. All right, and here is the robot mode. Let's go ahead and get a height. It doesn't have a lot of crunch, just one small click, so I'm going to leave it crunched down and give it an estimate of 9 3/4 inches tall. That's from my view. When you read the article, it may be a little bit different because I actually look at it head on and, you know, lay down flat and things like that to get an exact height, but for the sake of this, from where I'm standing, 9 3/4 inches tall. All right, now when it comes to the master here there, and I guess you don't really have to have the ab crunch up, but the chest flips outwards and it just plugs in or out. Okay. And you can also, if you want, switch this out with the one from Double Dealer as well. Okay. And that actually looks just as good, if not better, because the blues are exactly the same and whatnot. So for the sake of getting on with the review, though, we'll get Huntsman's, plug back in there, make sure these chest pieces are flipped outwards, and boom. All right. And as you can see, again, just a single. All right. So just for the sake of the rotation, the roundabout, I'm keeping the shoulder missile off for the moment. We will plug that in a second. And the missiles, you've got 2 that can plug into each leg, the calf, and then 1 that can plug in on each side of the back. He does have a total of 6, so you're left with 2 over here that aren't stored, which isn't too bad, all things considered, you know. All right, let's even him up. There we go. And I love this aesthetic. Again, 9 3/4 inches tall, and we'll start looking at the articulation. All right, now taking a look at the articulation. And such a good aesthetic. I think this carries it so much better, this mold, than Double Dealer. But you know, that's all subjective. All right, heads, you got some side tilt, some up and down, no movement in the neck itself or anything like that. All right, in terms of the arms, outward, 360, and it's nice small space ratchets too. I'm okay with that. So you do get the protection of ratchets and the stability, but at the same time you don't feel like you're losing out on articulations because the ratchets are so far apart that it's like either here or here. I hate that stuff. Double jointed ratchet and elbows even. Really cool. All right. And it does have 360 bicep swivel. All right. The hands, I'm going to zoom in because they deserve their own little space and credit here. All right. Let me see if I can brighten this up as well. All right. So the thumb here, it's on the ball joint. It does have a single spot of articulation, single knuckle. All right. And that looks a little bit dark. Sorry to keep adjusting, but yeah. But each finger is the same, so I'm not going to go over each individual finger. But 1, 2, 3 points of articulation in each finger. The only thing that this is missing for me personally is a finger spread. I think that would make it a lot better. Okay. All right, now zooming back out. Let me darken this up a bit. Back the camera up here some. All right, so we went over the arms. We already went over the ab crunch. It's pretty much non-existent. 360 hip swivel or waist swivel. No side to side rock or anything like that. And look at the V taper on this guy. All right, and that's a gripe of mine. We'll get to that in a second. So, all right, the front and the back skirts go out. So front swing, back swing, it's pretty much 90 degrees. All right, I'm going to leave that satellite out. The ratchets are just strong, so it jolts the figure when you're moving it. All right, now, oops, it swivels there, but this is the actual thigh swivel. All right, so I've got them transformed improperly. The way you're supposed to have the thighs facing is, I believe, not that way. I believe it is this way. All right, and it's nice. It's aesthetically clean. The screws are in the back, but when you do that, you only have that knee articulation, right? I prefer actually the way I have the other with the screws facing outwards because you still get a proper thigh shape, and you also get now a double knee joint. All right, the screws are black, the plastic is black. I mean, not losing too much aesthetically there, but that's how I prefer to have it. But I want you to know the proper way to have it transformed as well, and not look like, you know, you get those anal people in the comment section. You didn't do this little thing right. Oh, I know what I'm doing. So yeah, Now is that back or front? And I hate that, man. God. All right. So, last part would be the ankle articulation. So, pretty minimal ankle. Would that be ankle rock? Yeah. And the tilt back and forth, the back and forth tilt is actually pretty decent. But here's my problem. All right. Zoom in here. Okay. Good amount of front foot, but nothing on the back heels at all. This reminds me of like the Fans Project Warbot Defender days, man. It's rough. So this thing does have a problem. And it's not a Huntsman problem. It's not a get right robot thing or anything like that. He didn't design the original mold for the toy. He just made an awesome redeco of it. But, or retool, whatever you want to call it. But just by its nature, because of that imbalance in the foot and lack of actual heel, he does tend to lean backwards. And it's not like his backpack is heavy, but it is solid plastic. Kudos to the company for using good materials. And he will definitely lean and fall backwards if you don't watch it and make sure that he's planted, you know. And it sucks because it's like one little thing that really keeps him from just being tops, you know what I mean? Another notch of ab crunch or whatever, and some decent heels, and this figure is a 10 out of, it's like an 11 out of 10 with that stuff, but unfortunately, and as you can see there, that kind of takes it to, I would say, probably 7.5, you know? The aesthetic, no matter what, that shit's a 20 out of 10, because this thing looks incredible, but I like to play and pose and stuff like that. That keeps it lively for me. Now, plugging the missile in. All right. And this plugs in pretty tight. The missile itself, it doesn't. What I did to actually help and fit it in deeper, this plug piece here, because it plugs in both here and here, there's a little cut inside of the hole on the shoulder for that notch to go into too. So I shaved a couple of, I don't know, levels off of this piece, and you'll see when you get yours that it's going to be longer, and that helps it go in deeper, and that has helped it fit in significantly better. But just watch it, because it's definitely never going to be something that you could just shake around and blah, blah, blah. The company did tell me, you know, maybe try nail polish and stuff like that. I'm not there with it. I'll probably just display it, put it in after and whatever, because I don't need it to be all glossy, but yeah. All right, so the gun, all you do is boom. We already went over the LED effects and stuff like that. Cool. And it does have one of those notches in it that just makes it slide into the hand. All right. Oh, and just note that with this notch here and this piece here that goes out, it's not going to go all the way flush into the hand. So that's about as far as it goes. I wish it could go a little bit deeper, just for the sake of maybe using that as like a faux trigger. That would be awesome, but you know, it's kind of what it is. All right, let's get some poses here and get you guys on the road. Okay, pretty standard walking pose. All right, and closing out, here he is in the good old Transfan 2 blasting the camera pose, man. That guy was awesome. I wonder if he's still around. I don't really do forums and stuff like that. But anyway, I kind of said my, well, I didn't kind of, I really said my opinions on him during the review. Fantastic retool of this mold. Again, Get Right Robot knocked it out of the park. 20 out of 10. And that's just, it's not like buttering his bread or anything like that. He is a friend, but I have no need to like kiss his ass or anything like that. He just knocked it out of the park. Like, I love looking at this thing. As soon as I saw it, I wanted it. Like, I'm not going out of my way to pay extra shipping and stuff from somebody from Canada to get this stuff. If, you know, I could have just ordered it off a TCP, but I had to have it ASAP. It's that freaking good. But it's really made some inherent issues with the double dealer mold just stand out, like the lack of balance, some of the fit and form things like the missile not pegging into the shoulder well and whatnot, ab crunch. And I know that's not huge for everybody, but for me it is. So yeah, but overall, playability, I would give it about, for me, it's like a 4 out of 10. I think for average user, it's going to be a 6 to a 7. Aesthetic, dude, knocks it out of the park. 20, 25 out of 10. Easily. Overall, though, not a lot of grown ass men are sitting around pew 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 clanging toys into each other playing with them. So it's just a solid display and like a great homage to Stalker. I think it's a must have. Especially if you have like a G1 Stalker to display next to it. Like, I can't wait to see pictures of people with those two side by side, because even for a G1 toy, that thing is pretty freaking killer in terms of scope, articulation, etc., etc. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. The full article and gallery will probably be up today. The pictures are pretty much done. I just have to get off my butt and actually type words into my website and all that good stuff. So it would be nice to revive that too. I have missed you guys. I look forward to hearing from you guys. And yeah, there's more to come soon. It definitely won't be the same, I guess, pace as before, but there will definitely be reviews, galleries, stuff like that more regularly. So anyway, man, glad to be back. Look forward to hearing from you guys. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys next review.